Some major breaking news coming out in about the past hour today, March 20th, 2025, as take a look at the latest headlines coming out. Judge bars Musk's DOGE team from Social Security records in a scathing ruling. This is going to be having a major impact on Social Security, and you can see here, updated just 7 minutes ago. This is breaking news coming out. Let me know your thoughts. Are you glad to see the federal judge blocking Elon Musk and DOGE from accessing Social Security? A lot of people were saying that this would be disrupting things significantly and that it could potentially delay checks from going out, that they would be accessing vital, critical personal information of the millions upon millions of people that have records. However, a lot of people saying they were glad to see him being able to access this because they're saying, who is holding Social Security accountable? How do we know where the waste, fraud, and abuse is taking place from, and how are we going to stop it? They were hoping that Elon Musk would be able to do this. However, now we're hearing that this is unfolding in the past hour, that the federal judge has blocked this. Now, let me know your thoughts. Are you glad to see this happening? Are you glad to see Elon Musk being blocked? If you are, put yes. If no, put no. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And take a look at this. More articles coming out. Judge temporarily blocks DOGE access to Social Security records. You can see coming out just in the past hour. Judge temporarily blocks DOGE access to sensitive Social Security Administration systems. We're hearing that this has happened. They're asking them to delete files. Now, this comes as I mentioned, take a look. Social Security has never missed a payment. DOGE actions threaten interruption of benefits. Ex-agency head says. This is former director Martin O'Malley saying that they need to stop Elon Musk and DOGE from accessing the funds, that they're going to disrupt things and totally wreck the system. Do you think that this is going to take place? Well, take a look here. Elon Musk claims that there is massive Social Security fraud taking place behind the scenes, and they are getting closer to unveiling this. And as this is taking place, a judge has now blocked it. We're hearing that former directors of Social Security are trying to block it. How much money is actually being lost from fraud or waste? We've heard abuse, corruption. Let me know your thoughts. Now, this also could be a major disruption to the DOGE dividend checks as well. As many of you know, the DOGE dividend tracker, we've been watching this as well. DOGE live tracker, you can see this at doge-tracker.com. I'll link it in the description for you. DOGE currently is at $115 billion, and they are claiming that one of the biggest federal government agencies that they have found that has the most corruption is Social Security, and that they are going to start clawing back from the administration. And as a result, this would result in a larger sum that could go back in the form of a DOGE dividend stimulus refund check. So if they're blocking access to Social Security, blocking discovering any potential fraud, waste, or abuse, this is also blocking the buildup of that potential bill and the achievements of DOGE. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And also, for those of you on Social Security right now, you are included in the DOGE dividend check. I actually had an exclusive interview with Mr. James Fishback, the creator of the proposal, who presented it to Elon, who presented it to Trump, who has given it to Congress. And now Fishback is saying that in the past week, Congress is on board. A bill is imminent. We're going to be seeing a DOGE dividend stimulus refund check bill unveiled in Congress very soon. And you need to be working, but there's no working requirement unless you are on Social Security. If you are on Social Security, you're collecting retirement or disability, you've paid into the system in the past, well, you're included in it as well. And they are saying that now they're blocking DOGE, though, from getting access to the Social Security. Are you glad to see this? Again, let me know. Are you glad to see this federal judge blocking Elon and DOGE? If so, put yes. If you are not glad and you feel like Elon should be able to go ahead and audit Social Security, put no. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. But like I said, this coming out in about the past hour. Breaking news today, March 20th, 2025, that a federal judge in Baltimore, Maryland has now blocked DOGE access to the Social Security Administration. Warnings coming out from the former Commissioner Martin O'Malley that this potentially would disrupt payments from going out. And there is a lot taking place with Social Security. So on this breaking news, I'm going to be diving in, getting you caught up on the latest. And if you appreciate that, do me a favor before we move forward, take a second, hit that like button for me. Helps spread this out further across the YouTube platform so more people can get the latest updated information. In addition to that, hit the subscribe button to stay up to date. It's totally free. Why not? I'll keep you up to speed on everything. In addition to that, I cite all the sources, put it on the screen, read right from it, hyperlink it down below so you can just click it and go see it for yourself, and rest assured and know that this is the latest. In addition to that, as you saw, these articles coming out just in the past hour, some of them being updated just as soon as 7 minutes ago with this breaking news. So I'm going to share with you the latest, and again, if you appreciate that, please take a second, hit that like button. Also, specifically on Social Security and more details coming out on checks and things of that nature, be sure to join me at the newsletter, www.steveramnews.com. That's my name, steveramnews.com. But let's go ahead and get right to it. I see there's a lot of people in the chat, and there's somebody saying the judge is corrupt. Do you agree? Other people are saying, no, we are not glad to see this happening. They want Elon Musk to audit Social Security. Somebody has got to say, hey, the federal government, which is supposed to be a good steward of the American taxpayer dollars, who is monitoring them and auditing them to make sure that they are doing a good job of managing our funds? This is what they are saying, that there is nobody that holds them accountable, holds their feet to the fire. Elon Musk and DOGE is finally becoming that person to hold them accountable. And now we're hearing this federal judge has stopped it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Now, in addition to that, I heard somebody explain it like this. I can't remember who it was. I was listening to a podcast where they were discussing Social Security, and they were saying, think of it like there is a line of people, maybe like 100 people or so, in a line getting ready to get food. And the people at the front of the line get the food, but they're concerned that the people at the end of the line, they might not get enough food. And we're also hearing, though, that the people at the front of the line, they could potentially be not needing the food, and that the people who are in this line, they're needy, they need these handouts. Well, there's some people that are sneaking up into the front of the line and they're taking food. And this is going to short the supply of food that's available. Maybe they've only got food to last for a week or a month, and those people that don't need it are coming in and they're draining the supply that goes to the people who actually need it. This is what they're saying is currently an example of what's going on with Social Security and the funds. Right now, there is waste, fraud, and abuse taking place. Essentially, there are people who should not get access to these funds that are sneaking up into the front of the line, and they're depleting the funds that should go out to those who actually need it, have earned it, have paid into it their entire lives. What they're saying is that Elon Musk is essentially stopping the line, going person to person and finding out who actually needs to be in line and who doesn't. Well, they're saying that this is disrupting the line. That is the argument of those that are against DOGE, saying stop him from disrupting the line. Yet at the same time, what they're saying is that if he does do this, though, he's going to be able to identify who does not belong in the line, get them out, and when he does that, it will also provide an extension of the food of how long it will last. Or in other words, the funds that are made available to you. As you know, we have a solvency issue that will run out in maybe 8 to 12 years. By DOGE actually doing this, it could extend the solvency as they pull out those who are fraudulently pulling from Social Security. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know if that analogy makes sense. It made sense in my head. Not sure if I explained it very well or not, but my thought is that if they do this, if DOGE goes through Social Security, the administration cleans up the waste, fraud, and abuse, it will allow more of the funds to be distributed directly to those who actually deserve to have it, who have earned it, who have paid into it their entire lives, and will get rid of those that have been stealing from the program. Yet there are those that are saying it's too disruptive. What DOGE is doing will disrupt the entire framework of Social Security. So we will see. I will keep you guys up to date every step of the way so that way you know exactly what is going on. But let's go ahead and take a look at these articles so that way you can see it for yourself, coming out in the past hour today, March 20th, 2025. So let's go ahead and take a look at this here. Let's see. We've got one from The Hill. It says judge has temporarily blocked access to Social Security records. It says a federal judge in Maryland on Thursday today has temporarily blocked the Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGE, from accessing millions of Americans' personal data stored by the Social Security Administration. So they are blocking them from accessing those critical records. It says in a scathing 137-page opinion, U.S. District Judge Ellen Hollander sharply questioned DOGE's unfettered access to Americans' personally identifiable information. She blocked the advisory group from the SSA system containing such data and ordered the deletion of any in DOGE's possession. The DOGE team is essentially engaged in a fishing expedition at SSA in search of a fraud epidemic based on little more than suspicion, Hollander wrote. It has launched a search for the proverbial needle in a haystack without any concrete knowledge that the needle is actually in the haystack. A coalition of government unions backed by a left-leaning legal organization, Democracy Forward, sued over DOGE's access to Social Security, claiming that its access to private personal information flouts privacy laws and the agency's own rules and regulations. The information in the SSA's records includes Social Security numbers, medical and mental health records, bank data, and earnings history. In her ruling, Hollander said the government has not even attempted to explain why DOGE needs such sweeping access to Americans' personal data, instead repeating its refrain that DOGE's mission to root out fraud and modernize the bureaucracy must not be hindered. Now, the Justice Department, or the DOJ, had argued that granting a temporary restraining order would harm the public interest by limiting President Trump's ability to effectuate his policy agenda, including slimming down the federal government. Its method of doing so is tantamount to hitting a fly with a sledgehammer, the judge wrote. She directed DOJ lawyers to provide her with an explanation as to why each DOGE agent or affiliate is in need of non-anonymized access to personally identifiable information. Hollander's order does not preclude the SSA from providing DOGE with redacted or anonymized data. However, to receive that data, DOGE's agents must receive all training typically required of individuals granted access to the SSA's data systems, including on the laws and regulations governing privacy, she said. Democracy Forward President Sky Perriman called the court's decision what accountability demands, forcing DOGE to delete every trace of the data that it unlawfully accessed. The court recognized the real and immediate danger of DOGE's reckless actions and took action to stop it, Perriman said in a statement, and you can see this coming out updated just about an hour ago. So breaking news coming out on this today. Now, here's another one. Let's go ahead and take a look at this one from CBS News. That's going to give us a little bit more detail as well. Judge temporarily blocks DOGE access to sensitive Social Security Administration system. A federal judge on Thursday temporarily blocked the White House's Department of Government Efficiency from accessing systems at the Social Security Administration containing the sensitive information of millions of Americans, delivering another setback to President Trump's efforts to overhaul the federal government. U.S. District Judge Ellen Hollander wrote in a 37-page decision that a group of unions challenging DOGE's access to systems of records at the SSA was likely to succeed on its claims that the efforts violated the Privacy Act and a federal law that governs the agency rulemaking process. She granted a request for a temporary restraining order that was sought by the labor unions, which filed a lawsuit in February that challenged the legality of the SSA's decision to allow DOGE to get its hands on sensitive, personal, and confidential information pertaining to millions of Americans. The defense does not appear to share a privacy concern for the millions of Americans whose SSA records were made available to DOGE affiliates without their consent, and which contain sensitive, confidential, and personally identifiable information, wrote Hollander, who was appointed by former President Barack Obama. The judge's order blocks officials at the SSA from granting DOGE access to systems containing Americans' personal information. It also requires Elon Musk, DOGE, and its team members at agencies to delete all non-anonymized personal information they obtain from SSA and prevent them from accessing any agency computer or software code. Lee Saunders, president of the American Federation of State, County, and Municipal Employees, cheered the decision as a win for American workers and retirees across the country. The court saw that Elon Musk and his unqualified lackeys present a grave danger to Social Security and have illegally accessed the data of millions of Americans, Saunders said in a statement. This decision will not only force them to delete any data that they currently have saved, but it will also block them from further sharing, accessing, or disclosing our Social Security information. The Justice Department has said that 10 members of the DOGE team are working at the SSA, and 7 of them have had access to personal information housed in the data system. In her opinion, Hollander said that the Trump administration failed to provide the court with a reasonable explanation for why the DOGE team needs access to the data maintained in the SSA system to root out fraud and abuse. Defendants disregarded protocols for the proper hiring, onboarding, trading, and access limitations, and in a rushed fashion provided access to a massive amount of sensitive, confidential data to members of the DOGE team without any articulated explanation for the need to do so, she wrote. The judge, who sits on the district court in Baltimore, knocked the Justice Department for withholding the names of the DOGE team members in an effort to protect their privacy, but allowing access to millions of Americans' personal information. The Trump administration, she said, have not shown the same level of care with the far more sensitive confidential data of millions of Americans who entrusted their government with their personal and private information. The trust appears to have been violated without any articulated need. The American public may well applaud and support the Trump administration's mission to root out fraud, waste, and bloat from the federal agencies, including SSA, to the extent it exists. But by what means and methods, Hollander said. The DOGE team is essentially engaged in a fishing expedition at SSA in search of fraud epidemic based on little more than suspicion. She accused the Trump administration of giving DOGE unbridled access to millions of Americans' private data, including their Social Security numbers, medical records, driver's license numbers, bank and credit card information, tax information, income and work history, and their home and work address. This intrusion into the personal affairs of millions of Americans, absent an adequate explanation for the need to do so, is not in public interest, she said. To be sure, rooting out possible fraud, waste, and mismanagement in the SSA is in the public interest, but that does not mean that the government can flout the law to do so. The president's advisors and employees are not exempt from the statutes Congress enacted to protect American citizens from overboard and unnecessary access to their personal information. Mr. Trump established DOGE on his first day back in the White House and has said that he tasked Musk, the CEO of Tesla and SpaceX, with heading the initiative. The White House has said, though, that Amy Gleason, who worked at DOGE's predecessor entity, is formerly the administrator of DOGE. The task force employee have been dispatched to more than a dozen federal agencies as a part of the president's plan to shrink the size of the government. But DOGE's actions, and specifically access to sensitive government databases, has raised concern about whether they are complying with a federal law that aims to protect Americans' privacy information. Lawsuits have been brought seeking to restrict DOGE's access at least 5 other agencies, as well as claiming that Musk's actions are unconstitutional. Just earlier this week, another federal judge in Maryland found that Musk and DOGE likely violated the Constitution's Appointments Clause and the separation of power when they unilaterally acted to shut down the U.S. Agency for Internal Development. Wow, so there you have it, you guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. They are saying that they agree with shutting down or stopping waste, fraud, and abuse, but the judge said, but at what cost? And said that we cannot allow Elon Musk and his team to have unfettered access to people's data, and that the taxpayers have trusted the federal government to manage these and manage Social Security. And now they're saying we cannot allow them to go in and audit the way that they've been doing and have access without having the proper training to then first access it. However, at the same time, let me know your thoughts. Do you agree or disagree with this ruling? Because what we're hearing is that there is massive waste, fraud, and abuse. We have identified it, and they want to go in and specify who it is, find out what is going on, and claw it back. Again, do you agree with the judge's ruling? If yes, put yes. If no, put no. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. But we're hearing that this is taking place right now. And one of the things that we've been hearing is that there could be massive interruptions. As I mentioned in that analogy, using a line of people that are trying to get to the front to get food, they are saying that Elon Musk and his team, they could stop the line. They could halt it. There could be major issues. This is one of the warnings that we had heard come out from Martin O'Malley, the former commissioner of the Social Security during the Biden administration. He came out and he warned and threatened that there could be interruptions of benefits due to what is taking place. It says the U.S. Social Security Administration has never missed a benefit payment. Now, the continuity of monthly checks for millions of Americans could be at risk following changes under the Trump administration, former Commissioner Martin O'Malley had said. And there he is. Let me know your thoughts. Do you think that this is factual? Do you think that Musk and DOGE could essentially disrupt things so much that Social Security payments could get disrupted? Or do you think that this is fear tactics being sparked by Martin O'Malley to try to stop the DOGE initiative? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Is this fear tactics or is this factual? Also, thank you for the $5 super chat. I see Rob, MAGA Michigan. Oh, I see, but Joe Smith that works for the IRS, he can look at all of our information. Yep, let me know your thoughts in the comments. And thank you for that $5 super chat. I appreciate that a ton. Now, in addition to that, as I mentioned, on one hand, we have the former commissioner, Martin O'Malley, who is warning about this and saying that there could be disruptions. On the other hand, Elon Musk is saying we need to clean things up because there is massive fraud taking place. He has said that this is going to be historic, unlike anything we have ever seen in our lifetime in U.S. history. What is taking place behind closed doors at Social Security? He said they are robbing us. But take a look at this. Social Security, this is the perspective of Martin O'Malley, has never missed a benefit payment since the program first began sending individuals monthly benefits more than 8 decades ago. But the recent actions at the U.S. Social Security Administration by Elon Musk's so-called Department of Government Efficiency are putting monthly benefit checks for more than 72.5 million Americans at risk, former Commissioner and former Maryland Governor Martin O'Malley told CNBC.com. Ultimately, you're going to see the system collapse and an interruption of benefits, O'Malley said. I believe you will see that within the next 30 to 90 days. Ahead of any interruption in benefits, people should start saving now, O'Malley said. The Social Security Administration uses multiple systems and technologies that Musk has criticized for leading to errors. As commissioner, O'Malley told Congress the agency needed more funding for information technology modernization. O'Malley said DOGE leaders are now making changes at the agency, and significant staff cuts have already led to system outages. Those intermittent IT outages may happen more frequently and for more extended periods of time until there is a system collapse and an interruption of benefits, he had said. Loaded Wrench 14, thank you for the $2 super chat. Will Trump declare martial law, bypass the federal judge? We will see. This is just coming out in the past hour. Breaking news coming out. I will keep you up to date. Thank you for that $2 super chat. Reading on, it says, neither the Social Security Administration nor the White House responded to requests for comments by press time. Social Security Administration leadership upheaval. The Department of Government Efficiency, also known as DOGE, is not a federal department, and Musk, whom President Donald Trump brought on board to implement DOGE, is not an elected official. Since establishment, DOGE has looked to slash spending at federal government agencies, this article reads. The cuts have led to leadership upheaval, with the recent resignation of the acting commissioner Michelle King following a reported disagreement over DOGE's access to sensitive data. O'Malley resigned from the Social Security Administration in November to run for chairman of the Democratic National Committee, a race which he lost to Minnesota Democrat Ken Martin. Trump has nominated Frank Bisignano, CEO of financial technology company Fiserv, to serve as the new commissioner of the Social Security Administration. Bisignano has yet to sit for the Senate confirmation hearing. In the interim, Lee Dudek, who first joined the agency in 2009, has been appointed the acting commissioner. So right now, Dudek is sitting in until we see Bisignano come in. Before that, we had seen Martin O'Malley, and he is the one that is claiming DOGE is about to cause Social Security to collapse, and there could be a lapse in benefits. Some of those threats might have moved the judge to go ahead and stop DOGE's access, but Elon Musk is claiming there is massive Social Security fraud, and all of the clawbacks that take place, as I mentioned, will go towards the DOGE dividend we are hearing. Now, at this time, we're waiting to get this included in the bill, but we're hearing a bill is about to be released. We heard this just in the past, I think it was 24 or 48 hours. We heard from Mr. Fishback, who said that in the past week, he has been at Washington, D.C., talking with members of Congress, has at least 6 senators on board with the bill, and there will be one that is coming. He said it is imminent that will be presented, and they want to get this included in the reconciliation bill. Now, at this time, you can see there is $115 billion worth of clawbacks being claimed on the DOGE Live tracker. There's still 471 days left in the initiative. That's a savings of $714 per taxpayer, roughly. And there is 12,636 initiatives underway. Now, in addition to that, I mentioned this in a previous video, we're hearing that if Congress by chance does not get on board with this, you can see added here, there is currently a poll taking place. Will President Trump take executive action to issue DOGE dividend checks to the American people? And again, this is not new spending. This is not new money. This is clawing back existing funds, which is very important to identify because Congress holds the power of the purse. Congress is the only one that has the ability to essentially issue out new funds. But these are not new funds. These are existing funds that have already been distributed to be used by the federal government. They're just simply clawing them back and could redistribute it, and that would be 100% legal. In fact, we've seen that before. Donald Trump himself had actually done it in his first term as president when he clawed back FEMA funds and used it to provide additional enhanced unemployment during the pandemic, reallocating existing funds but not issuing new funds. And that is essentially exactly what we would see here. And a lot of economists arguing that this would not be inflationary either, that a lot of people, in fact, I think it was 70% of those polled are saying that they would use those funds to pay down credit cards, to put into savings, to invest, to do various different things. And they're saying it would not be as necessarily as inflationary as a lot of people might think. So we will see, because right now, this puts a huge damper on the DOGE initiative if they cannot access Social Security. As Elon Musk has said, Social Security has major fraud, waste, and abuse. This could definitely slow down things for the initiative of DOGE. Now, also, for those of you that have been asking, I've been keeping you up to date on this. Also, Social Security is included in those DOGE dividend refund checks or stimulus checks. As take a look at the headline, this came out after my exclusive interview with Mr. Fishback. DOGE stimulus check update. Creator clarifies Social Security eligibility. And he said, for anybody that's working, you don't have to have an annual income requirement of $40,000, but if you work at all, you're included. But if you are on Social Security, retirement, SSDI, SSI, I believe that's inclusive of all of them. We didn't get into the details of SSDI and SSI. If I get an opportunity to get more clarification on that, I'll let you know. But if you're collecting retirement or you have paid into the system before and you are now on Social Security and you're not working, that is okay. You are included. In fact, he said you should be at the front of the line. He said this is going to be included in the details for the line item for the reconciliation bill, which he said is imminent. So Social Security, you are included in that bill, according to Mr. Fishback. So we're going to be seeing where we go from here, but we're hearing that this puts a damper on things right now. This federal judge blocking DOGE from accessing the Social Security Administration as they are trying to cut fraud, waste, and abuse that they are discovering behind closed doors. And at this time, we're hearing they are saying, nope, not going to happen. Temporarily, access has been blocked. They must first go through a variety of different trainings to be able to make sure that they are not compromising people's personal, private information. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. So this is major breaking news that is going to be disrupting things for DOGE and their access to Social Security. Now, I see we've got almost 1,900 people with me live. Do me a favor, if you appreciate the breaking news updates coming out today, March 20th, 2025, don't forget, take a quick second, hit the like button for me, subscribe to stay up to date. It's totally free. Why not? And also, I will keep you up to speed on all of this that is going on, as we're hearing this is going to be a big one for Social Security. In addition to that, as I mentioned, we are waiting to see about DOGE dividend checks that would go out to Social Security. We're going to see about double taxation being eliminated. This is one of the line items we're hearing will be included in the reconciliation bill. Trump's agenda. He wants to see taxation stopped for recipients that collect Social Security benefits. Also, $6,000, in some cases $7,000 checks, refund checks for Social Security are going out as we speak because of the Social Security Fairness Act. And as I mentioned, we've got a solvency issue on our hands. We're going to be seeing if there are major changes to Social Security to make sure that people collect 100% of the benefits. So a whole lot going on with Social Security. So if you want to stay up to date on everything, I will keep you up to speed here on the channel. Don't forget, hit the like button, subscribe. And that is the latest, though. So we're going to be seeing what comes out with this, as this federal judge has blocked DOGE. This is going to be a major hindrance to their DOGE initiative unless something changes here very soon, or there's some very quick training that takes place. They were saying that Social Security was going to be a major part of the clawbacks that they were going to get for the DOGE initiative. So we will see. I will keep you guys up to date here on the channel. Sharpie Lady is saying, Steve, please get more information specifically about SSI. I will do so, absolutely. As more information comes out, I will get you some. I see MacMen007 is asking on SSI as well. I'll keep you up to date. Virginia is saying she is praying for a check. Are you also praying for a DOGE dividend refund check? If so, put the praying hands in the comments. And like I said, regardless of what happens, I'll cite the sources, put it on the screen, and I'll make sure I update you guys so you know exactly what's taking place. If it's good news or bad news, I will let you know so that way you can know exactly what's going on. Tommy says, great job. Thank you, Steve. You are very welcome. B. Borrowed says, why are these leftist judges interfering in executive branches with Donald Trump's work? We the people worked for this thing, and they campaigned for it. Yes. Sharpie Lady says, thank you, Steve. You are very welcome. Joyce says, Ram, you are the man. Your reports are clear and unbiased, better than the rest. Thank you for the kind words, Joyce. I appreciate that a ton. I will keep you guys up to speed on all of this. And look at those praying hands coming in. All the people saying they are praying for checks, praying to get Social Security on track. I will continue to keep you guys up to date. Yes, thank you for the compliments, you guys. And so that is the latest. Hit that like button, subscribe, and I will keep you up to date as more comes out. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Take care. God bless. This is